Hello and welcome. I am Annie, aka Android, and I will be doing my very first cast today, so hopefully you enjoy it, and feel free to leave any feedback in the comments. So I am casting a game with a Meepo, which I already hate, I really hate Meepo, and a Ricky, so that'll be some nice pub stomp action. So it looks like everyone's getting their starting items. Meepo is starting with 3 branches. Looks like a support silencer, going to be buying some wards. And another support shaman. And Juggernaut is picking up really heavy farming items, Stout Shield and Quelling Blade, so he's going to be looking for some early tank, early damage. On the Dire team, we have people moving out. Definitely a support Rubik picking up the wards. Dropping one to Ricky, who's going to be our solo offlaner, I'm thinking. Unless one wants to join him. Looks like Axe is picking up the Stout Shield, wants a little more tank ability for the start. And looks like it's going to be a pretty interesting game. PA heading into the jungle. Are they going to top rune spot, or are they going to go try to contest some camps? Radiant already setting up for this top rune spot with the Jug, who's leveled Blade Fury, and the Meepo, who hasn't quite leveled anything. He's figuring out what he wants to start off with. Down bottom we got some action going on. Looks like Ricky traded a hit with Shadow Shaman, but they are both going to be A-okay. There's a Lycan Wolf out, kind of scouting out the area, hoping to maybe deny the rune, but that might be a little too cheeky for now. Popping a silence. And looks like the bottom rune is going to go over to the Dire team. So up top, it was Meepo that grabbed Bounty Rune, and so it looks like some pretty even experience trade for both teams. No one really coming out on top, no one really giving up too much. Down bottom we have a tri-lane with the support Shadow Shaman, support Silencer, and the carry Lycan, trying to give him a lot of farm, a lot of space. Up top it looks like we got the solo Jug, which might prove tricky because he's going to be going against a PA and a Rubik, so could be some lots of harass from the lifts and the Rubik range, but hopefully not too bad. PA should have a pretty nice time farming. She got a Stout Shield so she can trade blows, she can take a little bit of creep aggro if she needs to, and she's got the dagger so she can throw that out and get her last hits that way. There we go. Down bottom it looks like Ricky's going to be going around trying to poke on the silencer a little bit, but they're keeping him pretty far back so Lycan can have his time to farm. In middle it's going to be a mid Meepo, which not sure how I feel about that going against a Pugna, so Pugna might come out on top with early harass, but if Meepo can get his space he'll level quickly and get all his little meeps. Oh, there's some all chat coming out. So Pugna is already level 2, almost level 3. Coming out pretty solid on top. Down bottom there's some action going down. Shaman's trying to get back as quick as he can, but the Meepo and Axe might prove too harassy for him. Lycan's staying all the way up.
Thanks.
Maybe not quite sure what's going on down there. Thinks he can take a Ricky and an Axe. But there was some cocky positioning over there. Up top it looks like Juggernaut's going to be taking a couple hits just like I predicted, but nothing too horrible, should come out fine. Silencer's actually rotated up to try to help him out and try to keep back the PA and the Rubik. In mid, how's Meepo doing? Oh, we have 2 Meeps now. We've hit level 3. And are we going up to deny the rune? Or get the rune, hopefully. There is an observer ward right there, so if he goes into the river, he will be spotted, and maybe that could be an opportunity for the Pugna to rotate in and grab a kill. Looks like there's a double damage up top that's grabbed by the Meepo, and a unclaimed bounty rune at bottom. It looks like Pugna's going to be going towards that, giving Meepo a little time to farm without fear for his lives. Up top's going pretty easy. Everyone's just kind of farming up. PA's getting a little low, but she does have her blurry if anything goes wrong. Blur, sorry. I always just call it blurry. And down bottom, looks like everyone's doing okay. Nothing too crazy happening yet. Shaman got taken to about half health, and it looks like he is putting points into his shackles above his nuke. So he's trying to just really support up and holds anyone in place that could be trying to take down the Lycan. In mid, Meepo's pretty low, has the double damage, and probably pushed up a little farther than he should have with that, but no one has taken down yet. Silencer getting in some good harass on the Rubik. It's a fight of the range supports. Ooh, down bottom there's a wave cut that's going on with both Axe and Ricky. I don't think I've ever seen that. Usually I see someone stay behind to push the tower, but it looks like it's working for them pretty well. Both obnoxious little heroes that'll just cut the wave, and you won't be able to do much about it, especially the support Shadow Shaman. That's a mouthful right there. Up top, PA is still pretty low. She does not have any regen left, so she might be counting on the Rubik to tango her up eventually. Juggernaut has actually upgraded his shield, so he's looking to be able to tank this wave and maybe get some more solo farm when people leave him alone. Down bottom there is still the creep cut, but there is a now sentry ward down. Going pretty effectively, the creeps are pushing in, but they do see Ricky under the sentry ward, and I think he knows that, and he's just going to be playing a little more aggressively like he knows he's being seen. In middle, the Meeps are still kind of doing their thing, walking all over the place. Looks like there's going to be some fight over this rune. There is the nether ward put down. Meepo getting pretty low. Doesn't look like he's really able to stop much of the harass, but he is going to poof away and be safe. Down bottom, there's an invis rune, which would be really nice for the Meepo, so we can walk back to base safely. Down in the bottom jungle, there's a fight breaking out. Looks like we could get a first blood here. Ricky pops the smoke, but Shadow Shaman is blocking the way, so Lycan can salve up without too much harass. Up top, things are getting a little closer to the Dire Tower. Looks like Silencer might be having a little struggle right there, but he's okay. Everything seems to be going pretty smoothly. Looks like people are getting their items at a reasonable time. We just got some Tranquil Boots on Axe, nice and early, probably due to the extra experience of the wave cut. Ricky already has treads, which is really good for him, and now Meepo has got his boots. So everyone's grabbing the boots that they need, except really the supports. They're really struggling. The Shaman has only 3 branches. Looks like he's used up all his regen, and he's about to get jumped on. Axe calls the call, and there's the first blood. Is Lycan going to be able to get out okay? He should be fine, but there is a sentry ward down right past the tower, so Ricky is not safe in that area anymore. Meepo TP's in, or one of the Meepos anyway. The other one looks like it is... Oh, they're both poofing down mid now. Top lane going pretty well for the Radiant. The Phantom Assassin is getting pretty low, although she does have her Slippers of Agility, so she should be able to have some extra agility there. Ricky is not under the range of the sentry ward, so he is able to farm and invis up as soon as he can. Both Meepos are sitting in mid, trying to get as much experience as they can. Sitting comfortably at level 6. Shaman is only level 3, however, so we are a long way from Snakes and effective push. I think the real strategy here is to get Lycan big. That's why initially there was the tri-lane, so he would have as much space to farm as he can. Doesn't look like it's going that easy. Hex on the Axe just to keep him back. Top lane is going really well. This Silencer Juggernaut duo is going great. Juggernaut can sit back, farm, get heavy hits, while Silencer zones out the PA and anyone else that tries to come into their lane. Pugna is currently sitting in the jungle. Not quite sure what he's thinking about there. There are 2 competing wards here, both about to run out. That's a neat little ward right there. But I don't think either one will be up at the time of the next rune spawn. Axe now going to the jungle. He has his Tranquil Boots on the ground. And luckily he's on the same team as the Ricky, because it only takes one time to realize that Ricky can run in and take your boots. Everything going pretty easy. Bottom lane Radiant side is still having some trouble, but once Lycan levels up to about 10 or so, he should have some extra damage with the wolves and extra sustain. Pugna going to roam top. Looks like he's setting up for something, and it doesn't look... He was actually spotted by this observer ward for the Radiant team. So it looks like they'll know something's going on, that mid is missing, but I don't know if they'll be able to figure out that he's going to wrap around through here. So there's now 3 Dire top. Looks like they're going to start going on the Silencer. I'm not sure there's much he can do there. Yep, there he goes down. Jug spinning to try to get away, but can he do it? He's surrounded by 3 of them, and they all have pretty decent mana. There we go, double kill. Juggernaut loses the advantage they had, and top is no longer going easy for them. Down bottom, Axe looks like he could be going down pretty quickly. There's a courier there, but is Lycan tunnel visioned? He is. He's not really noticing the Ricky. Could he get both of this? That would be an amazing double kill for him. There we go. Good job getting down the Axe. That was giving him so much trouble earlier, but the Ricky will be fine. Down mid, Meepo's still getting experience while they're roaming and trying to get the rune up top. Both Rubik and Pugna pretty low. They could both use a trip back to the fountain. There's a regen rune. I don't think you could have spawned a better rune at that point, and so now Pugna's full up and going back to mid. Or is he? I'm not sure what the plan is. Oh, we're trading bottles. Alright, Lycan's pretty low, but hanging down bottom from that last attack. And Shaman's back up, full health to support him. They don't have any vision, so Lycan's in a real dangerous spot right here, getting trapped into the secret shop. He's trying to run away. Does he have a TP? He does not. Is he able to get away? Maybe not. Axe does have his dunk, so it just takes one more hit and he can slam him. Or the Battle Hunger will tick him down anyway. Up top, PA's taken some more harass. Can Silencer bring her all the way down? I don't think he has enough damage, but they are keeping her back a fair amount and trying to make up for the damage they lost in that last fight. Down bottom, they're doing the double wave cut again, which, I mean, it seems to be working. I just wouldn't recommend it in the pubs. It seems like you're just missing out on too much possible harass and damage in the lane, although they are going to be diving tower here. Full vision on Ricky, popping the Hex, but it looks like Axe can go in with a dunk, or Ricky could just right-click her to death. Poor Shadow Shaman. PA very low up top, seems to be a habit, but we do have the upgraded shield, so she's hoping to maybe be able to take a little more harass in the future. Rubik without many support items. He might have been buying wards or just be really, really poor. Silencer is going down again. It is not going easy for this Radiant team at 1-7 in under 10 minutes. So there's a triple roam up top. No one is farming mid. That's just kind of holding steady. But down bottom, one of the Meeps might be going down. Oh, nice net. And will the Axe be going down to the Lycan? He will. Both Meepos survive, and the Axe is taken down, so that's overall a very positive trade for the Radiant. Up top, there's still 3, so missing out a little bit of experience mid. Looks like Ricky might be waiting for the rune. Yep, he's going to grab an illusion rune, which... Illusion. That's pretty good. Not terrible. There's a bounty rune up top, unclaimed. Looks like the Shaman and the Lycan support duo... Sorry, the Lycan carry and the Shaman support are trying to make up for any lost ground they have at bottom. Their tower did go down, but they can push the wave and get back some experience and farm that they've missed out on. Looks like Ricky's going to be grabbing both runes, also getting the bounty up top. Looks like the Rubik is in some trouble. That is grabbed by the Meepo, which is good. He can get as many kills as he can, and then he'll be even bigger late game. Juggernaut is taking too much harass to kind of stay in. PA dives in. Can they get the Meepo? No, Meepo will live, but may die to the Battle Hunger. Axe can go in, but he is now trapped in the trees and jumped on by the Silencer. Nice. Juggernaut getting the double kill. That's securing him a lot of farm and a lot of experience. He's building up his perseverance. So is he going Battle Fury? Probably. Is he going to just let the Pugna walk by him? It looks like it. Silencer is there. He pops the life drain, but doesn't really get much out of it as it's close to max range. Ricky Illusions are still on bottom. Not really doing much, but probably just giving him the experience of that. Oh, I'm sorry. Juggernaut dies up top as Ricky gets pretty ballsy and runs up. Now back in invisibility, and there's not much they can do because there's very little detection. Silencer looking pretty poor with only brown boots and a magic stick, and he's sitting on 500 gold, so he can't really buy mana boots or anything else fun like that. Down bottom, there's now the triple lane, bringing one of the Meepos in to help them make up for lost ground. I think the plan is just to leave Lycan in the bottom lane and hopefully get him pretty big. He has his Vlads already, so there could be a possible Roche sit-in soon. He still has his Quelling Blade, so he's able to last hit a little more effectively and make up for some of the missing farm. Is he building? I'm not quite sure, but we will see soon. Meepo's sitting pretty far up, while there's an Axe and a Pugna right there, so he might want to... There we go, blinking back to his safety. He does have a Blink Dagger, so we're going to be seeing Meepos all around the map. There is detection on the Meepo, so that's probably a good bet, because you can have them all over, and if Ricky jumps, just pop it and poof back to safety. Rubik pushing mid, getting a little bit of harass in the tower, but he hits at 60, so he's not going to get anything done fast. Haste rune sitting up top, no one seemed to be going for that. There is no ward coverage, top or bottom rune, so everyone's kind of blind. Rubik looking to scout out the Roche pit, maybe see if Lycan's there. Lycan pinging it out, sees what he's doing. Looks like they might be able to get a free pick on the Rubik, popping the Hex, and Lycan just eating him up.
If I need a new spirit guide.
There is going to be a fight breaking out down bottom as the Dire figure out what happened. All the Radiant getting really low. Meepo is poofing, but can they get out of this? Lycan trying to shapeshift. He's going to get away real fast, but will the dagger be able to slow him down? Looks like Lycan will be getting away. Spare some lucky blinks, and Silencer will be the food for the Dire team in this case. Meepo is TPing back to base, and maybe the other one can poof there if he needs to feel safe. He might want to do that right now. Perfect timing on the Meepo. Rubik TP's back down bottom, trying to get as much as they can off of this 5-man push. Everyone has rotated, and the creeps are doing a pretty good job mid, but I don't think that push is going to go anywhere. Looks like Radiant need to fear for their tier 2 tower. At only 13 minutes of the game, this is getting pretty out of control. PA having some good farmed items for how low she was. Ricky building, it looks like an early basher right after his treads, so he's going to try to go for the lockdown. Axe pushing pretty far up with a blink dagger though, so he should be able to move back to safety. Pugna grabbing some good items. Looks like he's going for a pretty early Axe, which is very solid on him. Get as much done. Omni Slash popped, but not much is getting done. It is only level 1. Ricky poofing it under the tower, making it worth it, getting some kills for the Dire team, but it looks like Radiant are turning this fight. It is now a 2 for 4 after this prolonged huge thing. Pretty good items picked up off of that, and lots of deaths, so not really anything you want. Meepo is getting hit by the stolen Blade Fury, which is an unusual steal, but looks like the Rubik is going down too. The Radiant have turned this fight. It is now a full 5-man wipe and an ultra kill on the Juggernaut. Appropriately calling out in all chat bonk. There's a regen rune down bottom, and looks like Jug might be picking that up.
Regeneration.
There we go, getting his mana back to full. He is doing pretty well on his items now after the tricky start up top. Pugna is doing pretty well, trying to get back some farm. Still unclaimed bounty rune up top. Might be getting swapped. We now have 3 Meeps, and let's find the real one. There we go. Looks like we are also going for an Aghanim Scepter, starting with the Ogre Club pickup first. Trying to get the extra Meepo and the extra map awareness. Up top, Shaman is being jumped on, pops the Hex to try to save himself, but he will go down anyway to the right click from the Pugna. Up middle, we got more Meepos being jumped on by both the Ricky and the Axe, and that looks like a very dead little miner. There are 3 mid, and they are just going to get dunked. Ricky taking the kill for that, but it was a very good Rubik lift, locking him in place, making the poofs impossible. Juggernaut trying to clean up top and defend what little tier 1 tower they have left. Silencer coming in to try to get more of the push. PA sitting pretty low. I don't know if it's this character or this player, but they tend to like themselves about half health. Haven't really seen them up all the way in a while, but they're getting good farm, and that's all they need. Looks like Battle Fury build is coming out. Middle is pushing, Axe is blocking the wave, and Rubik is trading some right clicks as well as Ricky. Juggernaut calling out some funny business in all chat. They take the tier 1 mid, and looks like they're pushing in. They also take the tier 2 top. Juggernaut does get the deny on that, but it is down nonetheless. So it looks like Dire are feeling pretty comfortable with their advantage right now. 11 to 16 kills, not really good for that, but they do have 3 tier 1 towers down as opposed to the Radiant's no towers, with very little damage on all 3. In fact, the tier 1 bottom looks like it has not even been touched. It looks like there is some dust popped onto the Ricky, so Meepo and Lycan's Wolves can see him, but that is going to be wearing off pretty quickly. And now he's back to his Cloak of Invisibility. Rubik is able to steal Wolves, so we got some Rubik Wolves as well as Lycan Wolves, as if there weren't enough characters in this game already. Another dust being popped, so now everyone is visible. Meepo putting in some work, dropping the net and the poofs. Can they still see the Ricky? No, the Ricky is still invisible. Lycan Wolves are doing some work cleaning up the creeps, but he is now running for his life with Rubik Wolves chasing him. This is a very confusing game for Lycan. Invisibility rune sitting on bottom, something to consider if they want to reinitiate on this. PA sitting on the high ground Radiant side, ready to jump onto anyone that comes low, looking for the tier 2 tower for safety. Overall, the Dire have a very strong advantage at this point in the game, but if the Lycan on the Radiant side and the Meepo get big enough, it looks like they might have to, really work to keep their advantage, because this isn't a lineup of characters that can stay strong in a 60-plus minute game. Axe is pretty good early mid-game, but once everyone else gets their items, he does seem to not do as much damage. Ricky is not grabbing the invisibility rune. I was confused for that for a second. Or is he? Nope, he pings it out to his team, letting him know that this would be the worst rune in the world for me to have. Doesn't look like anyone's jumping on it, though. Alright. Dire tried to take the Ancients, didn't quite get him done in time, and gives the gold to the Juggernaut, so overall good exchange for the Radiant. Lycan having some trouble staying in. Wolves doing good work on Rubik. Are they going to be able to bring him down? Nope. Lucky Splatter from Phantom Assassin is going to kill them off. Invisibility rune still sitting unclaimed bottom, although it looks like most of the action in this game is focused around mid, and understandably so. Looks like Axe is putting in some good work, pushing in top lane. Getting it all the way down to the tier 2 in only a matter of minutes. Double damage sitting on top, with a bounty rune swapped out for the invisibility rune bottom. PA grabbing some double damage. She'll be able to hurt a whole lot. Rubik getting chomped on by the wolves, using a lift to save his life. Will they be able to take Ancients, or are they going to try to push in? Looks like throwing a dagger onto the Silence. Global Silence being popped, very scared, and they are all clumped up around their tier 2 tower, including... how many Meepos? 1 Meepo, 2 sitting comfortably in base.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Probably a good idea to leave a Meepo there, so in case of emergency he can poof back home. Rubik sitting very low. I would be scared if I were him to be this far into the fight. Silencer might be able to get picked off, but Phantom Assassin will go down! Juggernaut sitting at only 50 health. Looks like the Axe will also be killed. This is going very well for the Radiant, although their healths are declining. Are they going to be able to get more? They are. 4-0 exchange. Good work, Meepo, popping into that fight, popping down the wards, just putting all their damage in one place, but the Dire does sit in their trap, and they all pay the price, except for one very scared Ricky, who it looks like he's wrapping around the outside of the fight, seeing if he can get any pickoffs from that. But looks like everyone's regenning pretty comfortably, and he doesn't feel safe jumping back in. He's going to wrap around mid. They do not have any protection right now. Can he get the Shadow Shaman? He can. Getting a lucky bash. Is he going to try to go for the Lycan as well? He is. Jumps on him, and good work with the backstabs. Really putting in work. Ricky almost making it worth it for his team, but maybe not. Bounty Rune sitting down there, still unclaimed. Juggernaut's trying to farm back up top. He does have a Battle Fury ready, so he's going to be doing some more damage to creeps and anyone else around him. Ricky down mid, sitting pretty comfortable with his items. Mask of Madness for that extra movement speed and that extra damage, although he does have to watch out because the Radiant can... Oh wow, I didn't even see that up top. 4 of them jump in and they decide they want that Juggernaut for revenge. Ricky going in for the Bounty Rune, getting some more XP and gold. He is sitting now on almost 1900 gold. What will he buy next? Alright, looks like there is now 4 people, soon to be 5 Dire heroes up top. They really want to push this tier 2 and keep their advantage as the Lycan keeps getting bigger and bigger. He has his medallion, so it looks like he should be going for a Roche pretty soon. Axe is dunking and gets the Silencer. Meepo will be poofing to safety, or actually poofing more of himself in. That might be a mistake he wished he regretted. There we go. Ricky cleaning up the Meepo, but is he taking too much tower harass? He is silenced. Can he pop? Doesn't look like it. He will be okay. It looks like all the Dire are fine, spare the low Ricky, but he can sit there and regen pretty fast. He isn't really worried. The Radiant team does not have a lot of vision right now. At this point, what a cute little courier. At this point, the Radiant are struggling. They feel kind of suffocated. There are Dire wards all over their map, including right here on this high ground. They can't really move around the way they want, especially with a Meepo and a Lycan that need a lot of space to push up and farm. They are struggling. They're trying to gather up as a team and figure out what do we do against this really push-heavy lineup that can just jump in and kill us. Looks like Ricky is taking some Ancients, using that Mask of Madness for the extra damage, but he will... looks like he'll be fine, regenning up and taking these dragons, nothing too damage heavy. They are pushing the tier 2. Bottom lane is actually pushing in with creeps, but the tier 2 is going down. Axe getting jumped on with the nets being popped. He is locked in place, popping the blade mail to try to get off as much damage as he can, but he does go down. Alright, Radiant have just been so good at these fight turns. They seem like they are in such a bad position. Another great net being popped, and the wolves jump in, and it is not enough to get out. It seems like the Dire can just push and strangle the Radiant, but the Radiant will always kill them and be able to make up the space they miss. Lycan going to be grabbing this Bounty Rune down bottom, helping him with that farm he's missed out on, and now we're going to go for the Roche. He has the medallion, so it should be pretty easy for him, dropping relatively fast. The Vlad's is going to help him out. Jug is actually coming in, so it should be curious to see who ends up getting the Aegis, because they can both be tremendous Aegis carriers. Down bottom, the Pugna seems oblivious to the Roche going on, and is just trying to push back the lane from the big wad of creeps that accumulated earlier. Juggernaut actually being the one to take the Aegis. Lycan is 6-slotted, but nothing he couldn't really sell. But Juggernaut might be of good use. He can go in an Omni Slash, get as much damage as he can, and if he gets brought down, no big deal. He can just come up again and chunk him down some more. Dire kind of fanning out towards the mid lane, trying to figure out their game strategy. Looks like the game might be starting to turn if this Meepo keeps getting big. But again, with the tower disadvantage, it's going to be real hard for the Radiant to make up their lost ground. Phantom Assassin farming up. Still no big items yet, but she's working on it. Rubik having the mana boots and the drums to help out his team when they're trying to run away from the Radiant. That savagely kills them all. Axe doing pretty well with his items. The Blink Dagger he's had for a very long time, as well as the 5 or so minute Tranquil boots. Vanguard helping him out, missed some of the attacks, but again, he does keep getting brought down due to his cocky positioning in the fights. Looks like Juggernaut's going to run into Ricky at bottom. Will Ricky be able to capitalize on this? They will. Axe is TPing away for some reason. That's curious. They do bring down the Juggernaut, but he pops his Aegis unscathed. Doesn't look like there's going to be much follow-up for that. So Aegis down, but no real loss on either side. Ward's still sitting up at the Radiant jungle, but nothing being scouted out there. However, in the bottom Radiant jungle, things are going to get pretty crowded pretty soon. There's a Rubik and Axe rotating. They are jumping on the Juggernaut, but he is hitting pretty damn hard. Shadow Shaman pops the dust, trying to see if there's a Ricky around, but they will not be finding the Ricky this time. There we go, Axe gets brought down. Very, very good shackles being held in place. He just can't run away. Ricky doing some work though, taking down 3 Meeps for the price of 1, although Lycan Wolves are going to get their revenge. And it looks like the Dire will be pretty much cleaned up if they can get this Ricky. Ricky will bring down 1 more person, but it's just a mad kill fest up here. 4 for 3 trade. Not ideal, but the Radiant are probably still pretty happy with that. They bring down the damage dealers, they bring down the Ricky and the Axe and the very cocky Rubik. So it looks like PA is going to be trying to take down these Ancients, get her some good farm. She does have a Battle Fury now, so that's making it a little bit easier for her to farm, but she is probably a little behind where she should be at 25 minutes. Down mid, Lycan's doing pretty well. He is using his wolves very well, getting some good kills with them. 12 charges on his magic wand, so that'll help him out if he does get jumped on again. Like this invisible Phantom Assassin sitting here. Is she just going to be scouting, or is she going to be trying to make some plays? Looks like she's just walking past. That Battle Fury does chunk her down a fair amount. Alright, they are now pushing, Radiant team is now pushing the tier 2, Fortify being popped, Axe jumping in with the call and the Blade Mail doing some heavy damage to Lycan. Does he pop his stick? 16 charges, he is fine. Doesn't look like he'll, there we go. He's now down to 0 charges, it does not give him enough regen. Phantom Assassin taking that kill, that'll help her out with her farm, now 1700 gold in her wallet. 3 of the Radiant team are running back down mid, kind of scared about the Dire, feeling that they maybe shouldn't have pushed their advantage that hard. Silencer cleaning up the bottom lane, doing pretty well. Lots of creeps there. Can he take the damage? He should be doing okay. He's pretty tanky. 4 Dire mid, just kind of sitting there, feeling it out. There's a regen rune up top. Let's see who goes for that. Looks like Ricky, although he is full, but yeah, just kind of scouting it out, saying what's there. He's probably going for the Ancients now. Nope, he's just going to wrap around to give them some extra vision and some extra mobility in the next fight. Alright, Shaman does get battle hungered by the Axe, pops the Hex, but he does get his Hex stolen by the Rubik. That'll be ideal for the Dire team to help shut down a fight if someone from the Radiant does pounce in. Phantom Assassin getting casually harassed, but there's not much they can do. Great deny from the Juggernaut on the mid tower, but will he pay for that with his life? Looks like he's going to jump back in on the Axe and get turned upon. Lots of Meepos now. We have the Aghanim Scepter up. But they will all go down too, so 4 for nil. Exchange very heavily favors the Dire. They did also get a tower out of that, so struggling now for the Radiant to make up any ground they lost. Good job pushing the tier 2, but is that enough? They're now sitting at a tier 3 going down. I'm not quite sure what the Radiant can do aside from keep getting their Lycan farm and keep turning these team fights into tremendous victories. Not much item progression from the Lycan aside from his BKB, which is doing pretty good, still has it for 10 seconds, so next time they want to turn a fight, he can jump in and do a lot of damage without worried about getting shut down. Alright, this is not very good. Shaman gets completely picked off by a Lucky Dagger and Blink from the Phantom Assassin, but Lycan is now doing his work with his BKB. He comes in, he claims the Rubik. Is there anything else he can do? His BKB is now done. Phantom Assassin blinks to safety. The call does miss on Axe. The Blade Mail's up, but he can still do a pretty sizable chunk of damage running back to safety now. With the Battle Hunger, can he dodge the dunk? No, he will go down to the Pugna. Juggernaut is a deny master right here. He's denied 3 towers so far, and they've all been really key. The experience just pushed the Dire that much closer to their next items, but he luckily stops that. Although they are probably going to lose their racks here, I'm not sure how they can stop it. The Meepo is TPing in, and the Meepo has done some great work, popped some great nets, but There we go. Fantastic net. Max range right there, but can they really do anything off of that? Hex is popped. It looks like the axe is low mana, but the Juggernaut just keeps going down. The Phantom Assassin is just getting these crazy crits, with now a Helm of the Dominator to help her out with some crazy lifesteal and some more damage. This Shaman is having such a hard time. He keeps getting picked off. Meepo is now chasing the Phantom Assassin. They want revenge. Net flies out. Doesn't quite hit. There we go. Can they poof and can they end her spree? There we go. Ending a mega kill spree. That's going to feel real good for the item progression of the Meepo. Ward is replaced up top, so they've obviously been roaming up there. Invis Rune sitting at the top rune slot, Bounty Rune at the bottom. Roche is going to be up shortly. Not a terribly long Roche timer on that. Mid is completely lost for the Radiant. They didn't have a strong start, and they've just been pushed. The only tower they have, however, is mid. Looks like the creeps might be able to take this bottom tower for the Radiant. That'll help them out with their map control, maybe be able to wander in the dire side without feeling as scared. Rubik is sitting by the Ancients, probably trying to communicate with the team and figure out how they can push their advantage while they still have it. Lycan up top, doing pretty good. He is bringing in the money right now. He's really farming up. Level 17 for him as compared to everyone else's. You know, the Juggernaut, the next biggest carry, is the 14. Meepo's 21. Meepo's been doing fantastic, walking all around the map, getting experience, throwing out some really key nets for the team, and popping in where he needs to be. Lycan's going to be caught up top. Can he really do anything? His BKB's up, but it's not worth it to pop it. He does get dunked by the axe. Around mid, Radiant's kind of clustering up, but this ward right there is going to see them all, except for the Juggernaut farming the Ancients. Great ward placement by them. When they were pushed in deep, they just capitalized on that and dropped down a ward. Haste Rune down bottom. Alright, up top, it looks like the Axe and the Riki and their crazy duo are going to be jumping in and getting some pickoffs. That Silencer is long gone, but the Meepo does throw out a net and tries to poof to safety. He will make it. Pugna and the Rubik are sitting here. Looks like there's some ancient stacking going on. Juggernaut may be getting a little bit salty because of those wonderful duos, but you know, he still has an opportunity to turn it. He's gotten some pretty great kills. All he needs is one really great Omni Slash in the next fight, and it seems like he might be able to do it for his team. Alright, probably going to stack the Ancients here in a couple more seconds, getting ready for that. Well, the Axe and the Riki are still pushing in top. Can they get anything off of this? This Shaman is just so squishy. He is just Axe food right here. Stack going off. Is this going to be a triple stack Ancients? That'll really help out the Dire team with their farm. Great stack by the Rubik. Good job on you. Alright, Shaman does get put down again, but are they able to clean up his killer? They are. Riki goes down, the wards really help, but they are just out of range to help out on this Axe with the Blade Mail, getting some stuff done. Axe goes down, and Pugna goes down too. So it is a 1-for-3 trade, and the Shaman isn't really worth that much. He puts down his wards, they do their work. I think overall that was a good trade for the Radiant. They're getting down the Riki and the Axe, which are the two pesky duos. Roche is happening right now. Looks like it's going to be PA trying to grab the Aegis with the Rubik helping out. PA is coming pretty good with her item progression. Picked up BKB since I last looked at her. That is still at the 10-second charge, so she's going to be trying to do a lot of damage and blinking in real deep on the other fights, avoiding the Hex and any other lockdowns from the Radiant. Down mid, we have Lycan and Silencer pushing. Great duo as we saw before, but how far can they really get on the Dire turf before they feel scared? Alright, Illusion Rune pops, Rubik grabs it just to get some extra damage in the Roche pit, and he's scouting out for any Radiant foes coming in, drops the Iron Branch, and picks up the Aegis. Good trade overall. This ward is really putting in work for the Dire team, but we have one up for the Radiant. Shaman does have 3 pieces, 3 satchels of dust, I guess, so they can use that for the Riki when they jump in, because that has been a problem. Looks like the Silencer's getting caught out way out of bounds. He shouldn't have been all the way back there. There are now 5 Dire heroes, so there really wasn't much chance of his escape. They're all gearing up to push mid, probably trying to figure out how they can end this game as fast as possible. And it looks like Rubik drawing on the map saying, you know, we should push in the top lane, get some easy racks. Down bottom, Meepo cleans up, but can they stop this next Dire push? That'll be a real key moment. Silencer dead for another 30 seconds. But his ult will be up when he gets up, so hopefully stopping some of the spam casting by the Dire. Ricky wandering in. There are no sentry wards down, so it doesn't look like they'll scout it beforehand, but next time he shows himself, there will probably be dust on his face. Alright, all 5 from the Dire are getting ready to move in top. Looks like the Radiant's prepared. They're all sitting in their base, ready to turtle, ready to throw their spells down. Everyone's ultimate is up, so as soon as the silencer pops back, this will be really good if they can get this pick off initially. Phantom Assassin pops her 10-second BKB, Crimson Guard comes up, they pick off the axe. Can they get the Phantom Assassin too? Throws out the net, but she is immune. She gets down, the Aegis is going to pop, but should the Meepo stick around, or will there be too much damage? Ricky jumps in. Oh my goodness, what a chaotic fight. This Ricky is regretting his decision to jump in. PA with no BKB, throwing her arrows in pretty deep. She's under the tier 4s, getting bound and getting picked. Amazing trade for the Radiant. I did not think they'd be able to stop that push. 5-0. No one died in that fight. Silencer came back. He did his thing. All the ultimates are down, aside from, you know, the Meepo ultimate, but what's really that? But really great job with the timing and the spell casting of the Radiant. So now they have a little bit of room, probably about 30 seconds while they still feel real safe to push. Invis rune up top, but it is under Dire coverage. And Bounty rune down bottom. Roche is going to be a pretty long respawn this time. Some sass going on in the all chat, but let's just ignore that and focus on the plays. Looks like it would be good for Meepo or someone else to clean up this bottom lane and push it back. Oh, let's just ignore this Rubik right here. Courier flying out. It is bringing in, looks like the good part of an Aghanim Scepter. They do get the middle tower, and it looks like the Radiant feel safe, keep pushing up, maybe take the tier 3 and get their revenge for those creepy base pushes. Alright, Axe is ready, pops the Blade Mail a little bit early, calls in, but then runs right away as he misses the Shaman. The Shaman has been so key. I mean, I know he has been dying a good amount, 14 deaths, but it seems like almost every single death the Radiant is able to turn and get something even bigger for it. That one time he died, and then both the Axe and the Ricky were picked off. So, although he is, on paper, looks like he's feeding a little bit, he is really key for the strategy of the Radiant. Alright, 3 damage dealers heading down mid. We got the Rubik with no item progression, sitting on 2100 gold, only 3 charges on his drums. Meepo picking up the Scythe of Vice on the Radiant side. That'll really help out for the lockdown in the fights. Alright, Phantom Assassin disconnecting. Let's see if there's a pause coming up for that. But, based on how this game's going, I'm not sure if anyone knows what's going on. Pugna walking pretty deep without ward coverage into the Radiant jungle. I'm not sure what he's looking for here, maybe just going down to the creeps and trying to get some farm that way. In middle, we have an Invis Lycan looking pretty cocky, trying to maybe jump on this Rubik, but he does not know that there's a Ricky right behind him. Will he get the Rubik pick? He does cover up someone. Can the Wolves bring down the Rubik while everyone else is here? Meepo poofs in, Axe pops the Blade Mail, calls in. Global Silence coming out, trying to stop some of the cast spam going on. Great job from the Radiant getting those pickoffs. Ricky immediately buys back, probably a little salty about that death, feeling like he could have probably taken something on it. But the cohesion of the Radiant is just super strong in this game. Alright, there's an Illusion Rune down bottom, Bounty Rune up top. Still under ward coverage by the Dire, so no one should feel too safe taking that. Dire's top tower falls to the creeps and the creeps only. Good job, Catapult Creep. In middle, Pugna trying to drop some harass just to keep these guys back while they push high ground. But is there really much they can do? Wards go down, Axe is still dead, Phantom Assassin's disconnected, and she is sitting in base. Axe buys back. Is there much they can do? Pugna's still dropping the Nether Blast to try to figure out if they can hold him back that way. Jug Healing Ward comes out. Everyone is pretty good health, and pretty good mana, aside from the Shadow Shaman, who could use some boots. Dire does hold this. They do not lose their tower, although it is in deny range if they decide they want to take that down. Looks like bottom is pushing in pretty good for the Dire side. The creeps are doing some work for them. Not quite megas at that point, but they might be soon depending on the next Dire push. Meepo sitting pretty comfortably up top. Phantom Assassin reconnects. Ricky coming in, probably going Meepo hunting, but he is too late. The Meepos poof out to safety, back to the Radiant base. Ricky coming down, probably trying to pick up some farm. How's he doing with his items? He does have a butterfly, so that's going to be a pretty sizable buff to his stats. He's going to be able to do a lot more, hit a lot quicker, and hit a lot harder. So that bash combo is pretty deadly, especially if he gets it off once or twice in a row with the lockdown by everyone else putting in their damage. Meepo's cleaning up bottom, regular creeps, not megas, pretty quickly, but is it enough to keep the push back? Megacreeps pushing in mid, easily demolishing the regular Radiant creeps. Ricky is sitting there with his creep wad, hopefully trying to bait out some people. Looks like Juggernaut will be wandering in pretty close with the Shadow Shaman. Shaman now picking up the Ghost Scepter, trying to hopefully isolate some problem children and figure that out. Phantom Assassin, for the Dire side, is able to grab a Basher, flying that out on the Courier hopefully pretty soon. And that'll help her out in fights with more lockdown as well, although there are a sizable number of BKBs. Let's see who has them. It looks like on the Radiant side it is actually only Lycan with the BKB, but he is such a heavy damage dealer that, you know, can you really get an item for that and not have it work on him? Phantom Assassin picking up the Basher from the Courier, and a Scythe of Ice picked up on the Pugna, so again, more lockdown. This game is really just about who's doing the most damage, how can we lock him down, and how can we kill him quickly. Alright, Lycan Wolves being picked off. Pretty sizable chunk of gold just to feed to the Dire, but at this point, can you really do anything about it? Haste Rune up top. Looks like Dire are pushing in pretty heavily mid. Dust being popped. Can they catch anyone invisible? No, Ricky's hanging back a little bit. Ricky's not affected by the dust, but the Lycan Wolves and the Meepo Poofs do take down the Rubik and the Pugna. Alright, looks like the Ricky's being chased back, but looks like Radiant is right there to back him up. Alright, Radiant once again making really good trades. Can the Meepo stay alive? No, the Meepo will get brought down. Phantom Assassin pops her BKB and gets a double kill on the Meepo and the Silencer. Immediate buyback from the Silencer, Hex popped by the Shaman. Lycan knows what he's doing though, he is bringing in the damage. Juggernaut ready to Omni Slash on just Phantom Assassin. It is worth it to get all of the Dire team down again. There is nothing they can do for 30 seconds and the buybacks are down for a good amount of them. So let's see if the Radiant team can push up onto the high ground and get their revenge and probably get their Megas for mid lane, because they've been needing those. Report Rubik, there is some salt coming out for the Dire team, but it is probably because they had such a sizable advantage, but the Radiant has just been playing so cleanly and so crisply that they're able to take these fights back.
Healing magic.
Alright, Bounty Rune's still sitting at the bottom under Radiant coverage, Roche spawning up pretty soon, so they might be able to pick off an Aegis. Lycan having, said, only one wolf ready to help out. They easily get the middle tower down, but that was only sitting at a fraction of its health. Looking to get down the racks. Jug doing a fairly sizable chunk of damage. Looks like he did pick up a Desolator to help out with some of the armor problems. Alright, are they going to try to pick off the Pugna under the tier 4s? The Shadow Shaman wards get dropped on the tier 3s, trying to do what little damage to that as they can just to get it off. Axe jumps in with the Blade Mail on the call, dunking down the Silencer, unfortunately. His ult was down, so it's not as big of a loss as it could have been, but the Crimson Guard is keeping the Dire team alive. Lycan really feels stuck. He can't do much of anything. Being sucked on by the life drain, does pop the BKB. Jug Omni Slashing, but missing the mark on that. He does have Ag, so it's not as long of a cooldown as it could be. Alright, Jug under the tier 4s with the Ricky and the life drain. He is just dead. There was nothing he could have done there. Roche coming up fairly soon. Pretty short respawn timer on that. Meepo's cleaning up top, but that fight looks like it was taken by the Dire. Radiant pushed up, but they just couldn't get much done. They do get the rack, so it's going to be Megacreeps versus Megacreeps, which will be a pretty nice change from having to constantly push back mid from the Radiant side. Alright, Pugna picking up the Mithril Hammer, so it looks like he might be going for a Desolator as well, or, I don't know, a Mjolnir, depending on how well he wants to farm. I haven't really seen that much on Pugnas, but anything is possible. Alright, Phantom Assassin doing really well with her item progression. She is now able to hit hard, hit fast, and hit without being hit back, which is key for her. She's pushing up onto the high ground, trying to take down this Meepo, but Meepo is flying solo. He brings in his friends, but what can they do against a PA with a Battle Fury? There are 3 damage dealers there, and they are all going to clean up. Wolf's going on the Phantom Assassin, but he decides better of that. Crimson Guard being popped on just the axe. Lycan is jumping in deep. Can he get much done? He does get a pick off of the Ricky, but he himself dies. Shaman trying to clean up, locks the Phantom Assassin in place, but goes down from it anyway. Little Piggy walking across the field. Silencer is going to get dead. Jug pops the Omni Slash, but is it enough to do anything? No, he is just, the whole Dire team is just so tanky. Pops the spin, trying to hopefully get something off on Phantom Assassin. Phantom Assassin does go down, but gets dunked. Shaman gets dunked by the Axe, and Juggernaut is not long for this world. That Blade Mail is really paying off for Axe. GG's called, but I don't know if this is it for the Radiant. They have turned fights in the past that were much more grim than this. Axe is looking pretty weak, but hopefully with his Tranquil Boots he'll be able to tank up pretty easily. Although if he keeps taking harassed by that range creep, maybe not. Looks like the whole Dire team are just ready to end this fight. They know they don't want to leave it to the Radiant to try to figure out if they can win or not. It does look like a BKB coming out for the Pugna with the Ogre Club and the Mithril Hammer, but we will see what his progression is on that. Looks like he's going to try to buy, but the Meepo thinks better of it. The Meepo is able to clean him up. Cocky move by the Pugna is punished by the Radiant. Axe blinks away to safety, and he is going to try to take some creeps with him on the way. Pops his Blade Mail just to do as much damage as he can, but he does get piggied up. What a beautiful net by the Meepo. Can he bring in his friends, and can he lock him down some more? More poofs. Can there be another net? What a beautiful net again. Crimson Guard being popped to try to dodge some of the damage, but Meepo does get the job done and brings down one of the big damage dealers. There's some Russian being called out. That's how you know it's good old Dota. Illusion Rune in the bottom rune spot. Hasn't been claimed yet. Will be turned over in about a minute and a half if no one gets to it. Same with the bounty rune. Roche is up now, so that's anyone's grab really, depending on how the lanes push. The Dire creeps up top are doing a pretty good job of keeping the lane pushed in, but I don't know if that's going to be enough to stop the Radiant. A good Meepo push and a good Meepo poof can clear out a whole wave, just as we saw right there. Again with the creeps pushing in for the Dire, but also a quick Jug Blade Fury can clean them up. So it's really just about how the Radiant is able to move and rotate and what they're able to do with their spells. Looks like all the ultimates are up for the Radiant, so that's, you know, a Global Silence, Wards, Omni Slash. That's enough to really get stuff done in the next fight. There's a Force Staff for the Silencer. That'll be pretty nice. Ward just going down, but replaced very quickly. Sentry Ward at that to make sure that the Riki is not nearby. There's a wolf stuck in the tree. Gem of True Sight dropped where? There's a gem in the base. Looks like they're picking that up for the Riki, who's been so annoying and getting the pickoffs in these fights. Dire team is clustering up, ready to take the Roche. Phantom Assassin drops the dagger and gets it started. Riki staying as scout, grabs the illusion rune and using his other little illusion Rikis to figure out where the Radiant are. The Radiant actually probably scout this out and figure out what's going on. They're going to try to contest and they're going to throw all their spells at it if they can. They're all gathering in, fanning up from the mid and the bottom. Roche is going down too quickly, though there's no way they can stop it. Riki picks up the Aegis. Cheese is still sitting there. Who's going to grab the cheese? Ward's grabbed, and the Pugna does go down. Riki's going to go down once. Can he go down twice? Alright, they get the Rubik. This is going so well for the Radiant. They haven't lost anyone. Meepo is poofing in, stopping the Riki in his tracks, and there's nothing they can do. Aegis for naught. He is dead for real this time. Ward's put in some real good work there, and the Radiant team just moving as such a fluid unit. They can't be stopped. They know their ultimates. They know how to use them. Looks like the top lane is really getting punished. Just a solo Shadow Shaman being left to clean it up, and there's not much he can do with such little mana and such little tank ability. He's trying to rely on his Q, but is that enough to keep back Megacreeps? Probably not. He might call in for his friends, although they are capitalizing on their push and trying to just end it mid. They just want it over. Meepo and the Jug come in, one hit on that little building for Juggernaut. Axe coming in with the Crimson Guard and the and the Shivas. They're just popping everything they've got. They do get down the Silencer, but a really good Omni Slash from the Jug brings down the Pugna and the Rubik as well. Riki having the dust on him. Can he? Alright, he takes that off himself, and oh no, Phantom Assassin is cleaning up right here. She's really starting to do damage with that Eagle Song, adding to her agility. What a beautiful dagger right there. Just completely ending out what happened right there. Silencer buys back, trying to figure out, you know, what can he do. Double damage on the bottom. There is a call by the Pugna, just go down and end it. Rubik and Pugna just want to end it. They want to split push, shove down mid, shove down bottom, and get it done. But can they do that? The Radiant has shown themselves again and again, fighting back and getting the fights they need, getting the 5-man wipes, getting the 4-man wipes. I don't know if this is what they can do. It looks like it's going to come down to some pretty good fights in the Radiant base, which does give them the home plate advantage. We're seeing as the Meepo respawns, he's got some big items right there. A heart to try to make himself more tanky so his Meeps can put in more work before they have to poof back. And Gem is still in base. Doesn't look like anyone wanted to pick that up, and rightfully so. They've all been able to be picked off. There's not one immortal player on the Radiant team. So unfortunately there's no real clear gem holder. Alright, looks like Axe is gearing up to get ready to meet up with his team and push in bottom, try to get themselves some megas, which is going to be, you know, a real good thing to help them out with their pushes. Popping the Shiva's Guard, catches the Silencer, and wow, Real quick, easy pick on the silencer. This axe is so big, but the Meepo can bring him down so quickly, even against the Crimson Guard. Axe does go down. BKB on the Pugna popped. Is that his 10-second BKB? It is not. Meepo trying to put in as much work as he can. Omni Slash comes out, does hit the Phantom Assassin, but the Meepos do go down to a lucky crit. Alright, Juggernaut going down too. This looks like it could be the end for the Radiant team. It's only Lycan left up to defend. He's doing as much work as he can, but he's getting jumped on. How fast can he run away? Pretty damn fast. Can he send his wolves out? It looks like the tier 4 towers are getting some work done on them by the Riki, who popped his Mask of Madness. Riki could really use a new item. After his butterfly, he really hasn't grabbed anything, and he's sitting on 4k golds. He is taking down the tier 4 towers. He grabs one, gives some good damage on another. Lycan's back at almost full health to try to grab creeps he can. Things are going real well for the Dire right now. 4 of them might be dead, but they have undeniable map advantage. Tier 2's still up, and pretty much undamaged for the Dire team. Riki running back to safety as he is the only surviving member of his team. Axe is saying, you know, Radiant, good luck defending this, and Radiant say, you know, we got this. And honestly, they do have a pretty good lineup for defending against Megacreeps. The Jug can take it down with one hit. Shaman has a pretty good spam of his cube, able to take down multiple targets at once. I don't know if the Dire have got this, although the catapults are going to prove a problem right there, moving in from the top. Alright, looks like this is just some big old damage coming out from the Megacreeps. Jug and Lycan are trying to do what they can, but is it enough? I don't know. Sentry Ward down bottom for the Radiant team, trying to see if Riki's planning to move in. Shaman popping the Ghost Scepter just to, you know, make himself take less damage. Wards popped actually to defend against the Megacreeps and keep this tier 4 up. I'm not sure if that was the smartest use of wards, but it's down and it helped, so I guess it's a good job on the Shadow Shaman. Kills right now 56 to 62 in under 50 minutes. It's just been a feed fest right here, with most fights resulting in 4 or 5 deaths on either team. Dire regrouping up top after several of them died. Riki was the sole survivor. It looks like they're regrouping. Roche is not going to be up for a good amount of time. Megacreeps moving in again top, but Meepo is ready to take them. Not really anything the Radiant can do except kind of stay in their base and turtle and wait for the next big fight by the Dire and try to turn it. Regeneration rune outside of Roche, that's always going to be a good pickup, no matter who you get it on. Lycan doing as much work as he can, picking up some Necronomicons for the extra push power. It's Necro 3, so they should be able to do a sizable amount of work, and the Invis is going to help them scout for Riki. Shaman having some trouble taking care of the things. Wow, Pugna TPing in with Boots of Travel and trying to end that Shadow Shaman. He will get the Shadow Shaman down, but he pays for his life while using the BKB and his Boots of Travels. Probably not the best trade. As I said before, that Shadow Shaman is doing pretty well with trading his deaths for some positive outcome for the Radiant team. There's some Russian laughing coming out, so wow, most Dota game I've ever played. Juggernaut trying to do what he can. He does grab the Monkey King bar, which is going to help, especially against the Phantom Assassin with her blur, but also just going to help him do more damage per hit, which is always a good thing when you are one of the main damage dealers on your team. Lycan doing what he can against these really beefy Megacreeps. He's taking a lot of damage for someone so full of HP. Plate Mail helping a little bit, and is now using his wolves to tank. Alright, Rubik's sitting up on this little shelf in the Radiant jungle, trying to either get some vision, or he might have just had an unlucky blink, but either way, he'll be able to free himself pretty soon. Now he's fine. Alright, I'm not sure how this game's gonna go. Bounty Rune sitting up top, no one's grabbed that yet. Replaced with an Invis Rune on bottom.
Radiant's agent is under attack.
Alright, the Ancient is actually getting under attack from the Megacreeps. Looks like there's enough people there to stop that with the 4 of them, Meepo, Lycan, Jug, and the Silencer. But it just seems really futile for the Radiant team right now against these Dire Megacreeps pushing in every direction. I'm not sure if they're going to be able to get the opportunity for a big team fight with 5 dead, and even if they get, you know, all of the Dire dead, are they going to be able to push and leave their Ancient exposed? Is there one person they can leave behind and not miss their damage on the Dire structures? Riki's pretty happy about the way things are going for the Dire team, and I would be too. Looks like there's a fight breaking out mid. Phantom Assassin popping or BKB, Lycan transforming and trying to run away as fast as he can. Looks like the BKB popped for naught for Phantom Assassin, and now her BKB is down to 5 seconds. Another set of wards being popped, and the Ghost Scepter being popped for Shadow Shaman. He is popping everything he can in order to defend against these Mega Creeps. Ward's going to be doing some good amount of help, trying to clean up the rest of the creeps attacking the Ancient. It's down to about 90% health, so not ideal for the Dire at all. They are against some real big challenges here. Meepo doing great work, popping out crazy nets. Wow, Global Silence really putting to work, stopping all the things everything could do. Rubik goes down. Phantom Assassin goes down. Pugna tries the life drain, but he is hexed up by the Shadow Shaman and just jumped on by the Radiant team. Can they push off of this, or do they need to stay back and defend? There is still the Axe and the Riki up. Are they afraid to go in without leaving someone in charge of them? Looks like the Axe and the Riki are going to gear up for a push mid. They're going to go back. The Riki is going to... well, I'm not sure why he's going back to base, but he's going to set up for that. Dire Courier is sitting at the secret shop, picking up a Vitality booster. Another regen rune down bottom. Radiant's Ancient is under attack again. Healing ward necessary just to keep themselves alive against these Mega Creeps. With a Meepo and a Jug, both have 55 minutes of farm. These creeps are crazy strong. Axe is up on Dire high ground, ready for the push that's coming from the mid lane. Shaman does have, Silencer does have sentry wards for the Riki if he decides to pop in. He also has the Force Staff to save him or himself from imminent danger. Meepo looks like the one that's going to be staying back and defending against the crazy creeps. Although no, actually, Meepo TP's in mid. It looks like the Radiant team is going to give it all they've got on this push. Meepo doing everything he can, poofing in his friends. Oh my gosh, I can't even cast this. Oh my goodness, all the spells going off. There are now no ultimates from the Radiant team aside from the Meepo ult that are up. Everything is going down. Meepo is a monster. Oh my goodness, Juggernaut getting kills with the Omni/towers go down. They're on the Ancient. Did they do it? Did the Radiant team clean this up? Phantom Assassin cleans up the Meepo, but Juggernaut is still hitting the tower. They did it. Wow, that Juggernaut staying in was key to the game. What an amazing turnaround. It looked like the Radiant was going to be suffocated from minute 10, but they did it. They turned around against the Mega Creeps. The gem is dropped, but it doesn't even matter. They countered this so well. They played so cleanly. Good job from the Dire showing their advantage early, but they could not hold on to it. They just couldn't take these fights. What a great game to watch. I always love Mega Creep games, but that was something else. Well, thank you so much for watching. I'm Annie, aka Android, and if you like my cast, feel free to follow me or let me know, and I'm always looking for games to cast, so if that seems interesting to you or you have a game that's even close to as good as this, let me know and I'd love to cast it. Thank you so much. Bye.